One of the most difficult part of learning how to ride a motorcycle is taking off without stalling. What if I told you there are only 3 reasons that you could be stalling, and once you fix that, you will never stall again? In this video, we're going to talk about those reasons, and at the end, I'm going to show you the exercise that will help you to ride any motorcycle without stalling.
Welcome to Traction Control, Advanced Riding School. Let's get started.
If you're taking off in a second or higher gear, your takeoffs are going to be sluggish, or most likely you're going to stall. Luckily, there's an easy fix to this. To make sure you always take off in a first gear, build the habit of tapping down on the shift lever multiple times before taking off. Eventually, this will become a second nature to you. Motorcycle clutches are different than car clutches, and not understanding how the clutch works is probably one of the main reasons why new riders struggle with their takeoffs. Pause this video right here and watch this video before proceeding. Once you understand how the clutch works, you can ride any motorcycle in the world. As a new rider, we are quite terrified of a throttle, as we don't want to lose control over our motorcycle. But not having enough power to begin with could also cause you to stall, especially on inclined surfaces. So before you take off, start with some constant elevated throttle. Now that you know the reason for stalling, let's talk about the exercise. It's the same exercise that's used at safety schools to teach new riders. It's progressive, so make sure that you master each step before moving on to the next one. And at any point, if you feel like your motorcycle is not in your control, pull the clutch in and apply the brakes to come to a stop. Step 1. Finding a friction zone with motorcycle turned off. Put your motorcycle in first gear by pulling in clutch and shifting it to first gear. Keep the clutch engaged and start walking your bike. As you're walking, start letting go of your clutch slowly until bike starts feeling heavy. It should feel like as if it's going through mud. Once you find that heaviness, congratulations, you found the friction zone. You should be able to walk with the bike at friction zone. And if you cannot push the bike anymore, that means you have passed the friction point, which defeats the purpose of this exercise. So don't let go of your clutch completely. Release the clutch until friction point and pull it back in. Repeat the process until you build the muscle memory in your left hand through feeling the clutch. Keep practicing and fight any urges to look down. Step 2. Finding a friction zone with motorcycle turned on. Start the engine and repeat step 1. There's no throttle at this stage. You do not have to walk the bike this time, as engine will pull you forward at friction point. Once you travel a bit of a distance, simply pull in the clutch and apply the brakes to come to a stop. If you let go of your clutch too quickly, the bike will stall. Keep practicing this step until you are able to get rid of any stalling completely. Step 3. Finding a friction zone with constant elevated throttle. Let's find the constant elevated throttle first. It sounds constant and slightly higher than idling engine. It sounds like this. And not like this. You might be tempted to look down at your right hand or gauges for RPM, but fight that urge and feel the elevated throttle through ears and vibrations. We ride our motorcycles through muscle memory, so our eyes can be on the road. Fight any urges to look down and look where you want to go. Build good habits from the get-go. Finding an elevated throttle might be challenging, as throttle is responsive to minor movements in your wrist. But with some practice, eventually you'll be able to control your throttle. It's important that you do not release the clutch quickly or entirely, as this may cause too much power delivery to the rear wheel. Once you find the constant elevated throttle, follow step 2 and keep the elevated throttle engaged while moving. At slow speeds, your clutch controls your speed. So even if the engine is making a lot of noise, your clutch hand will decide how much power is being delivered. Once you find the friction zone, roll off the throttle, pull the clutch in, and apply the brakes to come to a stop. Slower you ride, the better you are. At any point, if you feel like bike is not in your control, always remember, pull in the clutch first. I hope you found a value in this video. If you did, please consider hitting that like button, because it helps us to help other riders just like yourself. Thank you very much for watching, and be safe out there.